All right. Join us as we traverse through time and space.
At Bound by Fate.
On another episode of whatever this is.
Good job, Girl Pro. All right. We are at the Oakwood Cemetery in Troy, New York. And we're at the gravesite of Uncle Sam. And here he is. And his wife, Samuel Wilson. Died July 31st, 1854. He was 88 years old. And Uncle Sam, Samuel Wilson, was a meat packer and would send meat to the troops and became known as Uncle Sam. During the War of 1812, and since was adopted by the United States, being called the original Uncle Sam. And nice flagpole in his honor. And you can see it's a very still day here in Troy, New York. Flag is not flapping in the least, but it's a beautiful day. And this is also a beautiful cemetery. It is what's called a garden style cemetery, which means it's lots of little places to be and to have your picnics here and have your family come and show off how wealthy you are because you can afford a big plot. And these are some interesting urnies, nicely carved in this. The light is in the right place for a change. In memory of General David Van, I'm not sure, who departed this life the 3rd of October, 1818. And look at that nice carving. It's beautiful. Yep. 73 years and 2 months. And this is Mrs. Cordelia, relict of the late General David Van Ness. All right, now we know what he is. And daughter of Colonel Jacob. That's a name. And his wife Catherine. The Duchess of Dutchess County. Oh, I thought she was a duchess there for a second. Of Dutchess County. And she died 1829, and she was 79 years old. And she also has a pretty beautifully carved mourning style stone. And William Van Ness, and this is the son of David. And he died when he was 42, 1826. Not nearly as ornate, but anyway, that's how it goes. I'll just give you a quick pan of this beautiful cemetery, and we'll go off and look at some other things. It's hard to know what to look at first, but we're just going to nose around and talk about it until you're sick of listening. All right, here do we have here? Oh, look at these stones, how they're lumped together. We start with Eliza M. Allen. Oh, and she's a widow of the late Dr. Allen, and daughter of, holy smokes, look at that name, Eliphalet, Wicks. This person died, Liza died, 1835, and she was 34 years old, and some days and some other stuff underneath that I can't read. And then this is the one I can't I don't know. That's quite the name. The person was born in Huntington. L.I. Died in this city, June 1850. Looks like they're sucked down into the ground. This is Harriet, wife of Henry. And the daughter of the person I can't pronounce, and Anna, this is the wife of Henry. Okay, so Henry had a couple of wives. Oh, here's Henry. Oh, this is Henry's son of. And Cordelia. And another, here's Elizabeth. And these are all 1830s, 1845. Hard to see. They're kind of just getting sucked down into the ground. So that's why it's important to come see all this stuff before it gets gone, gets sucked away into the ground. Anyway, and here we go. There's lots to see. I'm gonna go over here and see what we can find. This is a very vast cemetery. You could probably spend days and days in here wandering about if you were so inclined. Everywhere you look, there's another section of the cemetery. There's roads that loop around and up and down and all around, and then they come back around again and way back in and around ponds, and there's monuments and little courtyards. There's John something Vander Hayden departed this life January 5th. Hey, that's my birthday. 1829, age 12 years and 2 months. And nothing else on the stone. Absolutely stark. And this one is hard to read, but it looks like maybe a Samuel Vanderhausen. Died 27th of November 1823, age 22 and 6 months. Yeah, there's a lot of writing, hard to read. It'd be a good one to use the flashlight trick or to do a rubbing, but you have to be really careful about rubbing stones. Sometimes you can cause harm and people get a little ticked off if they see you doing it and they're not a fan, but it is fun, and I have to say we have many rubbings and they're around my house and I enjoy them immensely. This is to the memory of Lewis Walter, son of Walter R. and Blandana Morris, born at Albany, October 7th, 1835, and died at Troy, November 17th, 1836, age 1 year and 10 months. And then at the bottom here, which is, first off, it's an interesting shape. I don't know if you can see, it looks rectangular the way I'm looking at it, but it actually does have a bevel out at the bottom. And then it says Phelps and Ball, Troy, at the bottom. So that could have been the carver or the company, I'm not sure. So interesting. A lot of Vander Heydens in here. I don't know if anyone knows about this. There's a Vander Heyden school. Oh, here we are, Julia. She was a consort of Durick L. Vander Heyden, who departed this life March 9th, 1817, 27 years old. That's a pretty neat carved marble. A little chippity chip here on the top. And here's Derek here next door, 36, young, daughter of Jacob and Mary Weiderheisen, 14. Oh, it was all 18. It was 1813, looks like. You often wonder if there was an illness that came through and just kind of took everybody down. That was the way in this time, because there wasn't, antibiotics or, just some common sense medicine. And, common sense medicine doesn't cure everything every time. Unfortunately, here are some broken stones. Which, that's that. Anyway, ooh, got a bug in my ear. Look at the size of this bugger. I'm gonna watch where my feet are going. I'll fall down. That could be fun camera work. Can you see it? George Captain Gordon, his wife, Alice. These shall drink the brook by the way, so shall be lifted up his head. Shall drink? I don't know. But it's a pretty interesting carving. There's vines, and thistles, acorns, and oak leaves, all in this beautiful Celtic cross. It is really quite beautiful on a very large chunk of granite, which probably has a groundhog living under it. So I'm going to go over here. I don't need to be bit by a groundhog today, really, or any day for that matter. Okay, let's just take a walk. It's always interesting when you're in these old cemeteries, if you're familiar with the area and you see the side streets have certain names, you start to see those names. Like there's Vale, that's a family name from Troy. It's actually a family name from Schenectady too, Vale Cemetery. But there's always more to see. These big monuments up here, let's see what they're all about. There's some other people buried here. There's I guess a large burial area. I'm not exactly sure where it is. I don't think it's well marked. For 25 Revolutionary War soldiers. And then there's some generals in here from the Civil War. But anyway, what do I always say? Come and see it for yourself. Or walk around with me and you see what I look at. And so I guess that's your choice. Whatever. Let's see what's here. Betsy Hakes. Delinda. Ooh, there's a name. Wife of Thomas. Looks like Spencer. Died in 1851. Age 45 and 1 month and 20 days. Anyway, beautiful monument, and it's being flanked by this incredibly gorgeous, quite large oak tree. So hopefully the oak tree will not catch a windstorm and topple everything, as I've seen in a lot of cemeteries lately. I'm not sure why. I guess it's our change in our weather patterns. They're a little more intense these days. But I don't know. I don't want to get into a science lesson. Oh, this one's neat. It's just an anchor. And it just says down here, oh, let's see, Willie. No other information. You're interesting. And the McDougal monument, there it goes, way up. Beautiful blue sky. That's Peter McDougal and his wife Anne. And Peter died in 1860 and Anne died in 1869. And over here, Harriet McDougal, wife of William C. Renwick. Look at the carving on that. Just nice and bold. Died May 13th, 1877. And then we have on the other side with the McDougal, Sarah Francis. And she was the daughter of Peter and the wife of Clarence. And she died 1867 at 24 years old. Goodness, life has just begun. And this beautiful big old tree is getting ready to just envelop these guys underneath. And it looks like part of the Tibbet family. So if you know the area, Tibbetts Avenue, it's just another name. Another Troy name. Okay, let's see what's over here. See some pretty crosses. walk through the wild plantain. Excuse me. Another big monument. The size of the trees are really beautiful. It's just a gorgeous little place. Well, not little. Alfred Augustus McMurray. Born March 24th, 1862. Entered into life July 1882. Entered into life. I guess the afterlife. There's John McMurray. Probably a baby. Yeah, 6 months. Died in 1868, it looks like. No, maybe a year. Not even. No. Goodness. Poor baby. 6 months. It's getting buggy. That's a beautiful cross. And if you can look across, we're up on this little knoll, and there's just terraces and pond terraces and roads that loop back and switch back all down into this cemetery and then back around. And what's neat about this cemetery is actually there's a crematorium at the very beginning, which is pretty neat. My sister and I got to go inside one time, and it was quite beautiful. I tried to take some photographs. This was before cell phones, and they didn't really come out very well, but the picture's still in my brain for now, till it's not. This is Isabella McMurphy, and she's the daughter of Charles and Eleanor McMurray, those are ours. All right, this little Isabella lived from February 6, 1896 till February 26, 1898. So just a titch over 2 years. 2 years old. Poor baby. And then the Charles and Eleanor are here next door. And they lived to be, let's see, Charles lived into 1940. Imagine that. Imagine your life. You were born in 1865, right? You're just pre-industrial age. You know, you're just, finishing up the Civil War. We might even still be in it. And then to 1940, to see, somebody talking or hear somebody talking on the radio, or see a TV. They had TVs in 1940, didn't they? Anyway, here's Eleanor next to him. And she lived till 1951. I guess that's what always amazes me, is that that lifespan of people have, distracted by a feather, and what they could have seen in their life, because I know just from my short life that I have seen major changes in technology, right? Carry our cell phones on us. It's a mini computer, for crying out loud. Look up anything on a dime, right there. Okay, this is Jacob Fake. Lived to be 57 and died in 61. And this is Elizabeth, his wife, and she died in 1856, 43 years old. All right, bugs. It's buggy here today. This is when you wish the wind would blow. And Elizabeth, their daughter, and she died, she was 21. Looks like 18, I can't read it. 56. Yeah, there we go. Mouthful of bugs, blick. All right. Ooh, look at that. Very much carved in there. Nice and proud. John S. Fake the second. Huh. I don't think I've ever seen that on a stone before. Interesting. And then there's a whole nother little cemetery in here. Family plot, surrounded by a beautiful fence. And I could go on and on and on. I don't know if you can see, there's a little chapel over there. And down the hill and up the hill and all around. So that's what we have so far. Oakwood Cemetery, Troy, New York. It's a beautiful cemetery, garden style, interesting stones. Not like the ones I normally like to look at, but still beautiful. Still a beautiful cemetery. So with that, we'll take one quick look at this bunch of marbles. And say, Sarah gone rogue? Over and out. GoPro, stop recording. Remember, don't knock anything over.
Ooh, and replace your divots.
Yikes.